Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Sugarbread Cat. Today I will be redesigning Sero's hero costume. This was a recommendation from one of my subscribers, and yeah, honestly, looking at his costume, I don't hate it. There's just like a few things that I would change design-wise. A lot of the elements I would keep the same, but I just want to like get the tape element more in there, because the only thing that we have going on so far with the tape element is the shoulder pads, which are shaped like tape dispensers, and they have that one strip of tape in between them. And while I do like it, I just feel like there's a few things that could be added to this costume to really make it have like a wow factor that really screams like, this is Sero's costume in particular. This isn't anyone else's costume, this is Sero's. Because when I redesign costumes, I try to make them more character specific, so it's like, even without the character wearing it, you can tell like, oh, this is for this character. Or you can just see like, oh, I can see like these elements here and here that pertain to their powers, and yeah, it's just stuff like that. I don't know, I find these redesigns real fun. So, I kept the shoulder pads the same because honestly, I do like them. I just curved the tape piece a little bit because it looks a little stiff and it's stretching over the top part of his chest, and that's not really a flat place, so it would be a little curved because he's a bit of a muscular guy. But now to the arms. So with the arms, I wanted to add like these kind of like tape wrappings almost as gloves, but not really full gloves. They would be almost like fingerless, but again, they won't even extend onto the fingers. They're mainly just like arm warmers that are just strips of tape, and that's really all there is to them. I just felt like adding that because it's a fun little bit. I also added it to the thighs just so we got more of that tape motif going on. And for the chest, I decided to, instead of just having the ripped black and white part, I would instead have that part a little bit more defined. So the whole idea when I drew that was to have the original black color there, the white color still there, and the black color for the pants. And I would use a gray for the rip pieces, just so that they're more defined in there. Because while I do like that piece of Sero's costume, I just wanted it to be more noticeable. I do like the design of the boots. They're pretty simplistic, they're very functional. I just decided to add another band of yellow just so that it would be a little bit more symmetrical, and I don't know, having just that one singular band there felt a little unfinished, so having the double band is just purely an aesthetic choice on my part. There's no functionality behind it whatsoever. It's just a thing that I have where I don't really like having one singular line of one color on the edges of sleeves or boots. It just doesn't really fit all that well in my opinion, but again, purely aesthetic thing, and I'm also approaching this from like a fashion design perspective as well. And I also added the double lines on the neck piece as well as the sleeves and the boots, because I felt like the neck piece was just kind of plain. It just cuts off and immediately transitions to skin tone, and I just felt like it didn't really go all that well, because with the sleeves you have that orange bit, and then you have that orange bit at the top of the boots before it transitions. So I felt like that should have been added there just to ease the transition to the lighter color, because it's done with both the arms and the boots. So that was just something I wanted to add there just for a little consistency's sake, I guess. Something I ended up removing from the costume is the little gray bits around his waist and the upper part of his thighs. I do not know what those are, and they're just kind of sitting there doing fuck all nothing, so I decided to get rid of them. I even looked up scenes of Sero's costume from the back, and they don't even serve a functional purpose from what I could see, so for me it was just one of those things where it's like, this doesn't really do much, so I'm gonna get rid of it, because I don't like how it looks and it has no functional purpose, so goodbye. It also just doesn't tie in with the whole tape theme or tape dispensers, like nothing. So I don't really know why Horikoshi put that one there, because again, just no practicality, nothing in common with the theme, really just doesn't really make any sense at all. But then again, Horikoshi kind of has a habit of adding belts that don't really add anything, I guess, because it comes to mind the second belt on Monoma's costume. It's just there. No reason whatsoever. The belt skirt thing for the bottom of Momo's costume, that doesn't have a purpose either. Like, it could be argued that it could cover her butt, but at the same time, she should be able to wear a pair of shorts for that. Like, that doesn't have any purpose really. Or the belt that Bakugo wears that has like those little thigh garters, I guess, attached to it. The bits for the thighs, they don't make any sense at all. Because someone could argue that the belt is there to hold up the pants, and yeah, perfect, fine, I get that, but at the same time, those thigh bits don't do anything.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have an Etsy store. If you'd like to support the channel, you can get yourself some jewelry there. Here's the new Halloween earrings that were just dropped. The store is called Sugarbread Studio, and it would be amazing if you could at least take a look.
Alright, enough about my rant about Horikoshi's obsession with unnecessary belts, because I can go on for that for a while, and that's not the idea behind this video. Either way, I removed the pieces that imitate a belt off of Sero because they don't have any practical use and they don't serve any design functionality either, so they're gone. But in the line art, I'm currently working on the tape pieces. I could have gone with, they were just wrapped around kind of like gauze, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to have them crisscross and all, because it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man and like Sero's abilities with like the tape and using the tape to swing. Really reminds me of Spider-Man, and I absolutely adore Spider-Man. So yeah, there's gonna be like a Spider-Man reference in here too, because if I remember correctly, Horikoshi was actually inspired off of Spider-Man for Sero, so makes sense. And having the tape just crisscross like that really reminds me of Spider-Man's webbing, so it's a little bit more of an extra homage to the character. Now, I'm gonna talk about the coloring even though I haven't really gotten there, because in the video I'm still on the line art, but the coloring. I like the colors, and I want to keep them almost exact. I might lighten up the orange a little bit, just so that it's a little brighter, because as much as I love Horikoshi's color choices, depends though. Rock Locks was, it was a choice. Not really a choice that I liked, but it was a choice. I might lighten the orange just a little bit, because while my hero does delve into some darker topics later in the seasons, because literally the whole child abuse thing with Eri and other things, like characters die on camera, but I just want to have like that little bit of whimsy still there, because at the end of the day, these are high school students, so they're not really thinking all that much about the responsibilities and emotional turmoil that comes with being a hero. Like, they're thinking about, oh, I'll get this cool costume, I'll beat up villains, and there's a few that are thinking like, oh yeah, I'll save people, but it's a very optimistic view, and I want that to be reflected in the costumes, because these costumes are designed when they first start as students. Like, they get them either like the day they're accepted or like the second day of classes, so it's just one of those things where it's like, this is still a very optimistic and very almost naive and just very overtly positive outlook on the world and heroes as a whole. So I just wanted to reflect that, and I did add the orange on the bands around the neck just for a little bit of cohesion. I did switch the yellow out in the middle, because when I got to it I realized I couldn't really do the white, because I wanted to do the white on the ripped up pieces to, again, keep the whole tape element there, but I didn't really want to mess with the original colors too much, because I really like the colors on Sero's original costume. So instead I switched to the white to those middle pieces so we could get the ripped tape look again, because again, tape theming, tape hero, that type of thing. and I put the orange in the middle because I was thinking of putting the black in the middle, but I just felt like the black would be just a little too repetitive because we already got that going on for the underlayer of the bodysuit. We got that going on for the top. We got that going on for the upper parts of the sleeves. We got that going on for the pants. So it just felt like there would be a little too much black in the costume, and his hair is already black. So I just didn't want to have like way too much of a repeating color in there. And also the way I draw my shadows, it would be difficult to see it. So the way I do my shadows is that I take a gray and I put a multiplier layer on. For lighter colors, it's very easy to see, but with black, I have to tone it down a little bit to a darker gray so it can be noticeable. If I did that with the whole costume, you would be really losing a lot of the details, so I just decided not to do that, just so again, you can see the details. But yeah, overall, I loved Sero's original costume design, and I was just approaching it from a point of what would I change, what would I add if I was the one designing this one originally. So yeah, that's all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps support the channel. If you have a character's costume that you want me to redesign, let me know in the comments. I love getting redesign requests because sometimes there's characters that I don't think of doing, and I love seeing what everyone else wants. And yeah, it just is a fun challenge for me. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye! Here's an art piece that I made recently. It would really mean a lot if you went over to my Instagram to leave a like on it and just leave a comment. I work really hard on both my videos and my art, so it just really means a lot. And it also just helps me reach more people and get my art seen. So I would really appreciate if you did that.